Hello, everybody. Welcome and thank you so much for watching. So today we are going to talk about a topic that is extremely important right now and in general, and that is how local businesses can take their products, services, or even knowledge and sell them online. So most local businesses have a pretty limited understanding of what it means to actually take either part of their business or their entire business into an online format. But this is incredibly important, not only given our circumstances, but just in terms of security and making sure that you have multiple options for streams of revenue and that something affecting one of those streams isn't going to cause your entire business to crumble. I'm sure a lot of business owners right now are wishing that they had been more prepared and had more set up in terms of their online systems and processes, even being able to do virtual consultations confidently, being able to take payments online, things that are pretty standard for the online business owner, but that most local businesses have never really learned how to do themselves. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. There are a lot of really creative ways that local business owners can make this happen. So as you're listening to this, we are going through the midst of the coronavirus outbreak, and what that has done has massively impacted business for those local business owners. Their foot traffic may have stopped completely. They may be getting no phone calls. They may have no one reaching out to them to come into their homes or to purchase their products, depending on what it is they sell. So my goal is to show you how your business may be able to implement these things so that you can continue to do business, or at bare minimum, prepare for when things go back to normal. The best thing about really taking this time to digitize your business is that you will be more prepared should anything happen in the future. The internet is not going away. People love to buy things online. People have different wants and needs from companies just like yours. So doing this is going to allow you to not only be more flexible and nimble, it's also going to be a way to serve more clients or serve your existing clients in a larger way. So first, we'll talk about people who sell products. This is a pretty simple one because anyone who sells a physical product already has the ability to sell that online. If you are a retailer, your next step needs to be taking all of those products, or at bare minimum, your best selling products, and putting them into an online format. This could mean setting up an Etsy store. This could mean setting up a few products in a funnel on something like ClickFunnels. This could mean setting up a Shopify website to sell all of your products online. There are a lot of different options in terms of what you can do. The biggest challenge is really understanding what you need to make that happen. So as someone who has taken a retailer who had 0 products online, we added thousands of products to their website. And this isn't always an easy task. Granted, it's a lot more difficult when there's thousands of products, which is why I recommend you start with those that are already selling well. If they're selling well for you in person, they're obviously going to sell better online. Those products that you can't move in store, not a good idea to start with online. So you really want to focus on what people are already asking for, what they're already buying. If you're going to take a large number of products online, I suggest that you start with a spreadsheet. So a spreadsheet is going to allow you to upload these products into virtually any system. And this will also allow you to make changes a lot easier. It's going to allow you to really evaluate all of the data and make sure it's organized in the way that you want it to be organized before you upload it to its final destination. So obviously you want to have a great title of the products. You want to have a great description. You want to make sure that any type of attribute that really describes the product is going to be present. So that would each have its own column. Anything that people ask you about involving a certain product in store, on the phone, online, make sure that's included. Do your research in terms of keywords. You can use sites like Moz, you can use Google Keyword Planner, just to name a few, to really understand what people are searching for when they look for these products online. So obviously, search engine optimization is going to be a great thing to focus on, but you can use your existing audience, your existing social media, your existing email list to now promote these products online. So it's not like you have to start from scratch. If you already have a business, you already have people that are buying from you. Show these people that they can now buy online. That's one of the main things you have to realize during this time, is that these people in the local community still need things. Places like Amazon have stopped doing quick prime delivery on anything that's deemed non-essential, meaning anything that's not a real household essential. It could take them a month to get that product. So if they still want or need something like that, let them get it from you. Show them you can still provide the same things you've always provided, but instead of them coming into a physical location, you're going to take the payment online and you're going to send it to them, and it's going to be a very easy process. They already trust you, so it's going to be a much easier sell than getting someone who's never heard of you to start off in your online selling journey. So you're also going to want to have really good photos of those products, and sometimes it's as easy as contacting your vendors. If you're a business that works to sell the products that someone else makes, those businesses should have high quality photos of what they're selling for people just like you to put those things online. You may have never been offered those things, but if you reach out and ask and dig a little bit, I can guarantee you they exist somewhere. There may even be spreadsheets already created for these products. Again, it's just about asking and telling them what you need this for. If you don't have the ability to get those photos from someone else, you just need to start taking your own photos. So there's a few things that are required for taking good product photos. Number one, you want to have a nice space where you can very easily move new products to. If it's a white background, that's going to be ideal. And then having something like a ring light, which is very inexpensive. It's important for you as a business owner to have that anyway, hopefully for the video content that you're going to be producing or that you're already producing. If you have larger products, it can be a little bit more challenging. You may need to take photos of them as they stand, Photoshop the backgrounds out, or do what you can to make it an attractive photo. But I will tell you, product photos with busy backgrounds, they don't show very well online. So make sure that that is a very big priority to you and spend some time to get it done right, because once you do those, you're not going to have to do them again. If there are any photos that you have of those products being used, those are also really important. People want to see maybe the way they look in a space or how someone is actually going to navigate that product in person. You could even do little videos showing someone how they would want to use these products. So that is one option. The retailer or product-based business that's going to be taking their products and now putting them online, starting by promoting them to your existing audience. Once you get any kinks or any bugs worked out, you can then take that and you can start marketing it online using something like Facebook and Instagram ads, YouTube ads, whatever you feel is the best fit. But digital is where you're going to be promoting those, because people will be able to buy online. So online formats is the easiest way to get them there. The next thing would be a business that maybe is kind of a hybrid. So I recently was talking to a business that had a smoothie shop, and their smoothie shop is obviously a place where people can come in, they can get their smoothies, and they can leave. They can sit down and enjoy them. Maybe they have a drive-through, maybe they don't. I would say that if you don't have a drive-through, now is the best time to make that happen. On a side note, if you're someone like a contractor promoting, building a drive-through for certain businesses, could be a great and really helpful service at the moment. So if you do have the ability for a drive-through, you want to continue to promote your business, number one. If you're able to continue to take on clients and serve your customers, in whatever way you can do that, you need to make sure the word is getting out, because the biggest issue I see is that businesses are confused about what's okay and what's not, but most importantly, consumers are confused about what is okay and what is not, meaning they're not sure if you're even open. They're not sure how to work with you if you are open. So you need to be the one that is actively putting that out there and educating them on your new products or processes so that they can take you up on that. I think a lot of businesses underestimate the power of loyalty in their customers. Even if this is something that they're not dying for right now, they may still support you just to support you if you're giving them the ability to do so without leaving their homes or without having a lot of human interaction. This business also had a detox kit that they wanted to sell. So it goes right along with their smoothies, their healthy smoothies. So the detox kits, they are single products. This would be an ideal product to put on something like ClickFunnels and to have an upsell to a package of 4 and then just sell those directly online. Again, start with your existing customer base, then move into your online advertising with that product. That product alone could keep you afloat right now if you do it the right way. The next thing that I would add with that same type of business is taking what you do, packaging the supplies needed, and selling the process of creating it. So if this were to be done for that smoothie company, let's say you have these special recipes for smoothies, you can package each ingredient for a certain type of smoothie. So you probably wouldn't do this for an individual smoothie. You would do it for maybe a large batch of smoothies. Get those ingredients together, package them appropriately. Think of something like HelloFresh, okay? The right ingredients in the right amounts so that it's bulletproof for the people who would be making them. And then give them free video trainings, maybe in a Facebook group or through email even, on exactly how they need to put these together. That prevents you from having to get anything professionally printed. They can actually still engage with you really closely, which I think is very important right now to continue to build that connection with your audience. And you're still going to be able to give them the same types of products they love, but now they actually get the enjoyment of making it themselves. You're actually adding fun to the process. And right now, people are looking for things to do. I think people are getting really bored. Those that are watching a lot of TV, they may be burned out on TV by now. You know, if you're stuck at home and you're not used to being at home, you want to find new creative ways to pass the time. That is a great example of a way to pass the time. Okay, so that is a product-based business in a retail setting and in a more, restaurant-style setting, or maybe kind of that hybrid model where you have products and you have products that are serviced to your customers. So if you can take any of those tidbits and apply them to your own business, I would absolutely do that. Next, we have service-based businesses. Think people like remodelers, real estate agents, someone that comes to your home, or someone that you do things for. So maybe that could be a personal trainer. People typically are coming to you, but you're still providing a service for them. There's a lot of ways that you can still make this happen. Number one, you have to realize what the limitations are for your clients or what their concerns are. So we'll talk a little bit about processes after we wrap this up, but realizing that you will have to change your processes, your messaging, your marketing, all of these things to reflect the changes that you're needing to make during this time if you plan on continuing to sell. If you do not plan on continuing to sell right now, all you need to do is prepare these things for a time that you will need them. So there's necessarily not a rush for some of you. I would say if there's any way to continue making money, it's of the utmost importance, not only for your own business, but for the employees that you support, for the other businesses that you support, and also for our community and economy as a whole. If we stop spending money, any of us, consumers, business owners, our economy sinks deeper and deeper. We want to boost it up as much as possible. So anything you can do to keep the flow of money going is going to help all of us. So if you are one of those service-based businesses, what can you do? So for someone like a contractor, there's several different options for this. I work with a lot of contractors, so this is definitely an example that I want to give. You could have virtual consulting services, okay? We'll also talk a little bit about this in the how to sell your knowledge portion, but your clients, or maybe those that would never be your clients, are wanting to do projects at home right now. This could be someone who, again, would never be your ideal client. If you are doing larger projects, your ideal client may never want to attempt that by themselves, and that's fine. That actually means that you're adding a service for a brand new segment of the market, one that you did not have the ability to serve before. You could do virtual consulting in a way that if someone wanted to start a project and wasn't sure what needed to be done, what the potential challenges could be, what products they needed, what the time frame needed to be, what the order of operations needed to be, you could provide them that info on a video call. They can still show you their space in that video call. You can direct them on how to take accurate measurements on that video call. Everything for the most part that you would see in real life, you're going to be able to see through video. After you've done that, you can create a plan with them, guide them on all of those steps. You can be there for support as they're going through the process. So my husband's currently working on our master bathroom, and he had a question on the plumbing. He FaceTimed a plumber that he knows, and in 10 minutes knew exactly what needed to be done to move the plumbing where it needed to go. So it just goes to show that trades can make money by showing other people how to do it themselves. And my husband is a remodeler, I will say that. So I don't necessarily know that anybody could just move plumbing on their own, but there are plenty of very handy people out there. People have made entire careers on YouTube showing people how to DIY renovations. It's a market, so you can either feel like it's taking away from you, or you can take advantage of it and serve a new segment of the market and all around the world. It does not have to be limited to your local area. That's another hugely powerful part of this. As a local business, that's one of your greatest challenges. It's also a great benefit that you are connected to a community. That's where you live, that's where you serve. Those are the people who have the ability to buy from you. That's great because people love to buy from people they know and they want to support local businesses. But if you could also take parts of your business and sell it to anyone across the face of the globe, you have opened up your revenue potential significantly. So think about ways that you could do virtual consulting services for people who want to try and do what you do on their own, okay? If someone is preparing for something larger, you could take your existing services such as design and planning, and you could do that same thing online, but they're paying you for the planning process. And then when things kind of bounce back, you're going to be able to execute that plan for them. But what you're doing is continuing to keep money coming in the meantime. That would have probably been part of the process anyway. But instead of saying, oh, we have to put that off until later, do the parts that you can do right now. Collect money for what you can do right now and do the rest when you're able to do the rest. For a lot of people, 1 month, you may barely be ready to start in 1 month. So why postpone that? And why postpone marketing your services if it may take a little time for everything to get rocking and rolling? So for something like real estate, I know real estate agents that are already doing this. And if you're not, you need to be. They've taken almost everything online. They're doing their consultations with homeowners online. Maybe if you're selling, they're going to do a virtual walkthrough with you of your home. They're doing virtual open houses. They're using things like DocuSign to sign the agreements. They are even doing closings without having to have personal contact. So that is a complete 180 from the way things are normally done. But the thing is, it can be done very easily. And then no one has to drive anywhere. You're saving time, you're saving money, you're saving energy, and you're still getting the same end result. So that's something that businesses should be doing all the time. I think that's something we're all going to realize through this is, what are some of these technological tools that I haven't been using that I'm going to use regardless of if we're in this type of economic climate or not. I'm going to do it because it makes my life easier and because it makes the lives of my clients or prospects easier. So I think there's definitely a silver lining here. You need to get out of your own way and stop doing things in a certain way because that's the way you've always done them. This is the time for change, whether you want to or not. Those that do not change will not be around long term. Those that are willing to adapt, be fluid, be nimble, make changes quickly, not be scared to push something out before you feel it's perfect. You know, done is better than perfect. Revenue is better than no revenue. So really think about that as you're deciding what's important to do right now and what's not. The next thing that you could do is kind of change up those processes, such as taking a physical school. So this is still a local business, and I've done this with other businesses. They have a physical school, but they've taken all the classes online. So they're still going to have their local school, but now they have a completely different process that somebody could take to still go through those same services, still get that exact same benefit, that exact same certification. So whatever you do, there is a way to make this work. You may need to focus on a different type of clientele than you've worked with before, a different type of service or project type that you've done before. Let's say you're a baker and you're normally doing wedding cakes. Well, I'm not saying that people are canceling their weddings permanently. They may be canceling large weddings. They may be, you know, getting married and they're going to celebrate later, but they might still need a smaller cake. You could take the same concept and you could package those cake ingredients and decorations and sell the training so they can make it themselves. Or you could do smaller cakes and you could deliver them. It'd be very difficult to deliver a large, unstable wedding cake, but smaller, more individual, or for a party of two, you can absolutely ship that. And I also think that for most people right now, there's an opportunity to provide your services as kind of a pick-me-up for others. And I think that goes a long way, not just in increasing sales, but developing goodwill. So that cake company, they could promote their services as send someone a cake that needs to be cheered up. You know, if someone lives alone or if someone's really struggling financially or anything like that, there are things that you could encourage your clients to send to someone else. We've already done this with several of our students or with our clients, and we want to make sure that everyone knows that this can be a really powerful tool. And you're also doing good at the same time. So it's a win-win. In terms of your processes, I've mentioned several times that you're gonna have to change your processes, and this can be one of the most difficult parts for a local business. Again, you may have very little use for technology, or at least you think you do. And now you really, really need it. So there's a couple of tools that you're going to want to either look into or go ahead and set up so that you're ready to use them when you need them. Number one, Zoom. Zoom video conferencing is something that we use all the time in our business, but anybody that's going to be doing virtual consultations or trainings, this is where you need to be. There are obviously a lot of other options. I really like Zoom. They've got a lot of really great tools and features, so absolutely check it out. You may be able to use just the free version of Zoom, so it doesn't necessarily have to cost you additional money. If you are not keeping track of your leads and your prospects and your clients, now would be the time to integrate a really awesome CRM. So a CRM may not seem like high importance right now, but I'll tell you why it is. People are not thinking about you right now, most likely, unless you're selling toilet paper, unless you're selling food for delivery. And even if you are, there's 1,000 other competitors. Unless it's kind of an essential to them in that moment, they're not thinking about you. Even if they need what you do, even if they've expressed interest, told you that they wanted to do it soon, what's going to happen is if you're not really keeping track of these leads, they are going to be forgotten about, okay? you won't remember who they are. You won't remember what they said. You won't remember what their next step is, what their preferences are. And it's going to be really challenging for you to pick back up and get going in the sales process if you don't have that. If you do have a CRM that you are using really religiously, you're going to know what people like, what they don't like, what they want, what they need, what their conversations with you have been. You can stay in touch with them individually or as a group based on their preferences, which is going to continue to deepen the relationship with them. And it's going to allow you to have an easier time getting back in the saddle and reigniting that sales process once things kind of take a positive turn. A CRM is also going to allow you to see buying patterns and parts of your process that could be improved. And there's nothing better that you could do right now than to improve things in your business that you have put off or that you have never even realized weren't really up to snuff. An autoresponder goes along those same lines, making sure that every single lead that you might get is maximized, because some people may still be getting leads in, they just might be, fewer and farther between. Maybe they're at a higher cost than they were before. So if that's the case, it doesn't mean you should stop advertising. It means that advertising is even more crucial right now, and that any person who expresses interest needs to be taken as far as they can. And having a really great autoresponder campaign, multi-channel marketing, that's going to be a really powerful option for you. You also want to make sure that you do have online payment processors set up, even if it's something where you're just sending someone a link in Facebook Messenger so that they can buy your products and services. You want to tell them how they can do it very easily. You don't want to make this a complicated process. You don't necessarily have to set up a complete sales page to be able to take those payments. So PayPal is one option. Very simple. A lot of people have it. Venmo is an option people talk about, but it's not supposed to be used for business. So I don't know if they've changed that in the circumstances, but I do know that traditionally you're not supposed to use that for business, so I'd probably avoid it. Stripe is what we use. It is definitely not perfect in terms of, you have to pay a percentage, but everyone has to do that with credit card processing, and it's going to integrate with just about everything. So we use something called PayFunnels, where we can hook up Stripe to our PayFunnels account. And all it does is it creates a link that we can send to anyone, and they can go out and fill their details. It's secure. We collect the financial investment, and they get a receipt. And it's as straightforward as that. You can put it in an email, in a message, you can embed it on your website, whatever you want to do, you can make it happen. But if you don't have one of those set up, you will never be able to take payments online. And even if your product or service is not something that you're shipping, if you're not going to be in contact with someone directly in order for them to pay for what you have, they're going to need an online payment option. If you're going to be trying to take your products online to sell them, ClickFunnels is a great option for a small grouping of products. Definitely really, really effective. Shopify, that would be better for somebody who wants to do an entire store online. You also can use WooCommerce through a WordPress website. That can be really effective too. If you already have a WordPress site, if you already have products on there, but maybe they're not able to be purchased, that's going to be your easiest option. And you also could use something like Etsy, like I talked about before. There are, requirements in terms of what can go on Etsy. It really needs to be something that's like handmade or custom in order for it to be relevant. With that in mind, think about what you could be selling that's more handmade or custom. If you do something that's crafty in any way, you might have the opportunity to create a brand new product that you've never sold before to get you through. So interesting story. I was interviewing Mark Schaefer for my podcast not long ago, and he told me a story about the business that he was working for at some point. And they were an aluminum company, and this was back during World War II. Well, one of their clients at the time, they were getting hit really hard. The aluminum company was booming. Everything that needed to be made during that time was made from aluminum. So just like it is now, some businesses were just crushing it. Some businesses were getting nothing. So what did they do? They did not hang up their hats. They did not say, well, I guess nobody needs what we have right now. We better just go home. They decided to completely change what they were selling. They completely changed their entire business because they knew that if they didn't, they would not survive. So they needed new technology. They needed more capital. So they got a loan. They needed brand new processes, but they did them. They created something new, something that was relevant for the time period they were in, and they survived. And they're still around almost a century later. That is a powerful story of being able to adapt to your circumstances. Just because you do what you do right now does not mean that it's all you're capable of doing. It means that your skills, that your talent, that your knowledge, that the tools that you have available to you could be used to create something different, whether that's in the short term or whether you keep that long term is up to you. But be open to doing something like that right now, because again, those that are creative and nimble and flexible, they will win and survive throughout this, and not just survive, they will grow. They will get stronger. That is something that we all have the opportunity to do right now, but it's not going to be done by doing things the same way that we did them 3 weeks ago, which is crazy to say. Just a few weeks ago, the entire economic landscape was totally different, but we are where we are and we can't look back. We have to look forward and continue to ensure that we stay in business right now. If you want to learn how to sell your knowledge, this is something I would highly recommend. And there is literally no time like the present, okay? Whatever you do, it means that you have a skill. You either know how to do something well, or you know how to show others how to do something well. You know how to communicate or facilitate or, get things done, enlist people, delegate, whatever it is. You have some type of really valuable skill. How are you going to share that with the world? Kind of similar to the virtual consultation with a general contractor, similar to the way that a personal trainer would now take their training services digitally and still show people exactly what they need to do, but they would need to shift and show them what to do with their own bodies or the things that they would have around them at the moment, not gym equipment. So that's something that would be done in a live format. You're communicating one-on-one with these people and you're really hearing their specific questions and problems and challenges. If you were to do something like a course, you could take basically that same information, put it together in an easy to follow way, and sell it to people who need it anytime without sacrificing your time for money. That is the beauty of a course or of a training program. It is passive income. Once you create it, you can sell it over and over and over and over again without any additional resources outside of whatever you're doing to market it. You know exactly how much you're going to make on that. So it gives you really clear guidelines for your marketing as well. If you know that you're charging $300 for this, well, you can spend, I'd say $295 on it and still make a profit. If that's what it costs you to sell one of them, continue to do that. And $5 times 1,000 is going to get you a lot of money. Usually you're going to be able to sell it for way less than that. In terms of, having a larger margin. But what I'm trying to say is, even if you're not very good at advertising, you might still be able to make it work. If you are good at advertising, or learn how to be good at advertising, or hire someone that's good at advertising, you can make a lot of money if you're willing to bet on yourself during this time. If you're not willing to invest in your own company or product development or, developing the skills of you or your team, why are you in business? People want to do business with those that are super passionate about what they do. And if you're really passionate, that means you want to stay in business in whatever way you can, and that you should be willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen. So think about what you could sell in terms of a course or a training program, similar to the school that took their school and put it online. It's the same concept. So if you have something very clear that you can sell, the same way that I sell training on how to market a local business. That's what I do. So that's what I sell. Some people feel like doing that is going to take away potential customers, but that's not the case. The people that I sell training programs to, it's either one of two things. They either become a closer client, whether they upgrade to one of my mentorship programs or hire us as an agency. So that's a win. If not, usually they never would have hired us anyway, because it's not a good fit. And you don't want to alienate those people. You want to be able to help them if they need help, and then you can still use that as a way to drive revenue. So the same example of a contractor helping people that want to do DIY, that person was never going to be your client anyway. And even if they were, even if they're only doing these projects right now because they're bored and they're at home and they see the problems in their home, if you can help them get through this smaller thing without, making the house fall down around them, they may absolutely want to hire you for that larger project because you helped them. There is something so amazing to be said about helping someone when they need it. Even if it's not the core product and service that you want to offer, be willing to do things differently and sell different things to survive, deepen your connection with your community, and really come out on top. So figure out what market you have not been serving. Maybe it's kind of a different segment of your industry. Maybe it's people who are in the same business as you. Maybe it's a different price point of offering. So I talked to someone the other day who is a wedding planner in New York. New York is obviously being hit really hard. Events are being hit really hard. So that's a tough one. Well, she does have a store. She sells custom stationery, but she works with higher end brides. So for me, my instinct in that regard was a couple of things. Number one, you have the opportunity to put out a training program or a course to help brides with a lower budget still get a high-end feel for their wedding. So this isn't going to be around forever. This is something that will pass. And so people are going to continue to plan their weddings. If your wedding was scheduled for this month or next month, yeah, you're definitely stressing out. You're having to change things, postpone. But if you just recently got engaged, you're definitely still trying to plan your wedding, but maybe your budget has been seriously affected. Maybe the money you wanted to spend on your wedding is now having to be spent just supporting yourself. Okay, so if I was that bride, what would I rather do? Invest some money in a program that's going to teach me how to get a beautiful wedding, but at a really affordable price? Or would I want to just have to sacrifice everything that I want because something happened that blew my budget? So in her mind, it was a segment of the market that was not aligned with her brand. In my mind, this is a segment of the market that's never going to hire you for your event planning services because they can't afford it. This is not your ideal customer. But you can sell them something else, something that works for them, for their budget, and still continue to sell your primary services to those who are an ideal fit. The other thing would be to take that stationery and sell it online. Definitely anything that can be sold online, you should be able to do that. However, the messaging needs to be right so that people know how it's relevant right now. Because again, they're not really thinking about you right now. You have to tell them why they should. So really consider what other markets or segments of your market you could serve and think about developing a training program for them. It's not as complicated as you might think. Anyone who has questions on this, I would be happy to answer them. And these are assets that you'll be able to use forever. Extremely valuable assets. There's nothing like being able to educate people on a topic. And if you've got video trainings on these things and additional resources, then you're going to be able to use them, whether it's in a course or just to your existing clients and audiences moving forward. So it's not going to be a waste of time. It's really going to be beneficial, and it's going to give you a stream of revenue moving forward that you would not have access to otherwise. So I would love to help you in your time of need. Whatever you're struggling with, please let me know. Please reach out. Don't hesitate. There are solutions for you. Sometimes it means getting really creative and it may not come to you right away, but you can get through this. You can survive. You can continue to grow your business. And this just might be a turning point for you where what you did in the past is not what you do moving forward. And that's okay. Maybe this is the path that you were meant to be on. So try and look at it that way. Don't let any anxiety or negative feelings prevent you from taking action right now, because it's easy to try and retreat and go sit on the couch, watch Netflix, be in the fetal position in the corner. But that's not going to help you, and it's not going to help your business, and it's not going to help your clients or your employees or anyone that depends on you. So be a leader right now and decide that you're going to give this your all and do everything you can do to succeed. So I hope you guys have learned a lot from this training today. I am always here to help you, and I just really want to give you the encouragement that everything is going to be fine. So keep pushing, and I hope to hear all your success stories when this is all over. Thanks so much.